Hey everyone, welcome to I Just Watched. I'm Joseph, and I'm about to talk. Give me one sec, someone's here. It's weird. Give me one sec. Hey everyone, welcome to I Just Watched. Again, I'm still Joe. Someone was knocking at my door. It's a cool surprise. Before I say anything else, I'll let him take it away. Let him say anything he needs to say. David.
Hello everybody, it's David. I'm back. Missing the viewers, missing the fans, missing doing some reviews. Welcome back to the big show, I guess. And
the only show.
The only show, and we haven't done one of these in a while. So if it's a little bad, it's his fault. If it's good, it's mine. Put it that way. But
that makes sense.
Just all playing aside, we're here for one reason only. That's Antman and the Wasp. And I guess without further ado, Joe,
let's do it. Let's jump into it and let's talk Antman and the Wasp and a little bit of Infinity War aftermath.
Yes, very, very well said.
All right, everyone, but before we do jump into Antman and the Wasp and all that fun shenanigans, friendly reminder to click the like button if you like this video. Smash the subscribe button down below to stay tuned to see more of our shenanigans. Don't forget that every time you share this video, there's a possibility you save a life, and you might want to save a life, especially with all the destruction left in the Marvel universe right now.
If you don't save a life, you're just gonna become Ash.
Basically, just.
But we'll get there.
Yeah, but we'll work our way there. This is going to be a spoiler-filled review, so we're going to talk everything and anything that happened in this movie. So again, heads up, if you haven't seen it, you can still watch at your own. That's up to you. Or you can watch the movie and then come back. We'll gladly accept that too. But without nagging anymore, let's talk Antman and the Wasp. David, it's been forever. Want to start bad?
I think we should start bad because, I mean, granted, this is a spoiler edition, so I think we should start bad because I think there's a little more good than bad to talk about, and I think we're going to get a little crazy with the good.
I can see that. I can agree with that.
So, that being said, where do we start?
Well, you talked about story. We can go story because story fits for us in both categories. It's good, it's bad, but it's not bad because it's bad, but it's not good because it's good. Now, let's explain.
And better words have never been uttered before.
I mean,
because
I can't help it that I'm just.
You can't put it in a better way.
Genius, all right?
We put story in the bad category because, like my favorite Marvel movie, Iron Man 2, it's a setup movie. I wouldn't say filler.
No, it definitely not. But the story had to go down the way it did in order to basically explain why they were not present in Infinity War, obviously, but also to give us or open up these these future situations or possibilities that they're going to need for for now, Avengers 4 or future Ant-Man, future MCU movies in general.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
And there's for one, that like jumping to the end, like that whole quantum energy thing, that's like that may not seem important now because it has nothing to do with the direct story, but that's going to be serious change.
I'm really glad you pointed that out because I think the most uttered word in this movie is the word quantum.
Hey, second being 2 years.
Exactly. So it's quantum and it's 2 years. So by the end of this movie, you're going to know two things.
Yes.
That quantum is in front of every other word in this movie.
Which they actually, in the middle of the movie, he's like, did y'all just say quantum in front of everything?
And you also going to know that Scott Lang has been under house arrest for 2 years.
2 years. And just if you were wondering, Infinity War takes place 2 years after Civil War. This movie takes place 2 years after Civil War. And if you watch this movie, you'll understand that it's been 2 years. Make sure you understand. 2 años.
Just in case you forgot.
Just in case you missed it.
It's been 2 years since Civil War.
Just in case you missed it.
Yeah, because you might miss it. That's a small little thing there. There's not a lot of bad, and it's
like we had to somewhat nitpick in a sense.
We had to because I mean, other than that, it's a very, very fine film. But we will get into the good. So I mean, like I said, the story, it's they're mad at Scott.
Yeah,
Scott's under house arrest.
It's basically just like
there's a villain.
Yeah,
there's a MacGuffin. We're at the end.
Yeah. Everybody's
happy. That is your spoiler edition. Good night. No, I'm just playing.
All right, till next time.
Yeah, exactly. No, and that's basically the movie. It's not a bad movie.
Not at all.
It's very, very well done parts, and like I was telling Joe earlier, it is, it's not a filler. I don't want to say filler. Filler keeps coming up. I don't want to say filler. It's a setup.
Yeah.
But it is it's a better movie than the first movie. Cinematography, film, dialogue, blah blah blah. You know, everything is a better, but it's not the first movie. And if that makes any sense, if it doesn't, comment below and let me know I'm an idiot. I'm good with that. It's a technically better film.
Yeah. But it's just.
But it's not Antman.
Yeah, it doesn't have the, as you say, the nostalgia, or it doesn't have the effect of being the first. Go round.
Yeah.
Basically, which a lot of the greatest movies ever suffer from this.
Oh yeah.
Even when the second one is miles better, it just doesn't have the feeling you get of watching it honestly for the first time.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So that's one of the things that weighs this movie down. But I feel like that's one of the things that weighed down, like for me, Guardians 2. Like Guardians 2 is glorious. However, it does get weighed down because it doesn't have that magic from being the first.
Well, it has a little bit of magic. There's always dust that get to my eyes at the very end when Rocket cries, but I mean it's just weird. I don't know.
Yeah, man, them dust particles, bro. You should. Yeah. They're from the quantum realm. You should talk to.
I thought the dust was from Africa last week, but apparently it's every time I watch Guardians.
Yeah, it's just that's crazy.
That's neither here nor there. So I guess our second bad would be.
It wasn't necessarily a bad thing, honestly, because it didn't affect the movie badly. It was more of a personal, like I said, surprise. Because I honestly, from the trailers and everything, the way it was set up, I expected a lot more of both Wasp. Even if it was flashback scenes or just more from Pfeiffer herself. Like, not that she did bad, not at all. I'm saying I expected more interaction with her character and Hope from Janet. I expected more Wasp moments or more of them, more screen time, basically. Because we did get some of both, and we did get a flashback. I was gonna say backflash, but that's not the way it's said. Flashback towards the beginning, and then throughout it giving us, explaining and seeing Janet do her thing a little bit, and then we see the trailer. The trailer gave us basically 90% of the time we see Wasp.
Yeah.
Hope. That trailer when she's fighting in the kitchen, that is basically 90% of her in this movie. Like, that is the most Wasp action we get in the movie. We do get some later. But that was definitely like the pinnacle of her waspness in this movie.
I think 80% is in the trailer. I mean the car chase.
Yeah.
The kitchen.
Yeah.
Her fighting Ghost.
Yeah.
So that's all her. And
yeah.
That's all trailer.
It's all trailer, and then even now that I think about it, we did get a minimal. I feel like towards the end we got a bunch, but minimal amount of Antman and Wasp like changing like. It happens a lot, but I feel like it's not as much as I expected. Like, it's all kind of saved for the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Where the beginning is very much dialogue, story, this is happening. But where in the first one, it's like, as soon as he gets a suit, you see him training, so you get a lot of Antman in action in suit. Where this one, it's like, there's build-up, suit, build-up, suit.
Build-up, shitty suit.
Yeah, because, I got to give it to him. There was a lot of humor in this one. There was a couple jokes that I'm always the guy who's like, man, I didn't like that joke, so I can't. There was a couple jokes where I was like, all right, it's not the best. But that's it, honestly. Like, there was nothing, I didn't hate anything really.
Still good humor.
Yeah, like Paul Rudd was hilarious.
But we're still on bad.
Touche.
We're still on bad.
All right, I can't help it. I just want to go there.
But that being said, that's pretty much our bad.
Honestly, yeah.
I mean, and that's a record time for this video. And once again, no, I'm just playing. I'm just really messing with you.
It sounds like he really wants to leave.
No. It's always good to be back with you guys.
What you don't see is a gun below the laptop, forcing him to be here. He's actually calling for help. It's a cry for help.
Need to stop watching 13 Reasons Why.
Or continue. Yo.
Nope.
Right.
We're
you're right. This is your fault.
We're sticking here.
That's your fault. Don't bring shit up if you don't want me to talk about it.
You're right.
Hey, I'm gonna take it from this movie. You put your 10 cents in the jukebox. Now you gotta get the whole thing.
Oh God. Now we're quoting. All right. Okay.
Let's go good. I'll go first. Since I mentioned it, I was super nervous that we were gonna get another one of those Michael Pena scenes when he does the voiceovers, and I was like, oh my God, if we don't get it right now, we're never gonna get it in this movie, and it's gonna hurt my heart. And then you heard his theme. He has his own theme music.
He does.
Like Jaws and Friday the 13th, Jason. Like, he has his own theme music for these movies. It came on, and I was like, and even David was like, yeah. Like, we were just like, we were waiting for this moment. And then it was, instead of getting two, it was just one beautiful.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It was hilarious. It was one long voiceover scene by Pena, but it was hilarious. And it served its purpose. Like it gave us what you needed, but it also had like these jokes in it that just you expected. And then I think Pena killed it.
The humor's coming at you left and right,
yeah.
and not overly Thor Ragnarok.
It wasn't like please laugh at me. It was just like subtle things that if you get it, you got it. If you didn't, you're like whatever. It wasn't like you need to laugh at this. It was just like boom, laugh at this or this. Like there was options, and it just you can feed off of it.
It was pretty much that they realized they found gold in the first movie, and we're gonna mine it until it's until it's done with this one. And like he said, instead of 2 short, actually 3. Was it 3?
I thought it was 2. Oh no, technically 3.
Because
you
the
get
very end,
the baseball, the paint, you get the wine tasting, you get the art gallery, and then at the very end he goes, "Do you know Antman?"
He said, "Yeah."
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So
Yeah,
we
you're
got
right.
so instead of 3 small ones, we got one
big,
long
like,
one.
Yeah.
And Michael Pena
Killed it. And I loved. Okay, so he did voiceovers, and you see Rudd doing some of the actions, and you can see like in his face that he was having a good time doing those movements because he was going at it.
Well, Evangeline Lilly as well.
Yeah, I was like say both of them were like they knew that was the voiceover scene, and you could see that there was a big smile on their face as they were wording these, and you could just see when they did their movements and like their actions, and everything. It was just
a lot more head movement, like
like who does? Hey, when you're gonna do the fist move, who goes like this?
Yeah,
like I was like, all right, hey, you into it?
I think the only time we really saw that in the last movie was like we got guys who jump.
Yeah.
Who climb up walls. You got to be more specific.
Yeah.
So we got more of that, which is great. I mean, I haven't found a person yet who doesn't like that in Michael Pena scenes. I mean, and leading into Lily and Rudd.
Yes, the stars of the show.
Antman and Wasp. Rudd is Rudd, and Rudd is really good at what he does, and Rudd is really, really well cast in this movie.
Yeah,
I was a little iffy on Lily on the first movie. I think she did a great job, but she seemed more of a TV, a TV actor, and she came in, knocked it out. I was a fan of hers, but because I was a big fan of Lost, but she seemed TV, and she's a movie star.
I was like, because sometimes, like you said, you can't quite transition seamlessly or quite smoothly as you'd want. However, she definitely did, and then I really like the fact that they gave her. Because in the first one, she's like, she wanted to be the frontrunner. She wanted the suit. She wanted to be able to help and do that.
She wanted to be Ant-Woman.
Exactly. The Entress.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Right? It just came to me. And I know, right? What you didn't hear is the cha-ching.
Yeah, exactly.
Win. So that's what she wanted. And this one, you definitely get it. And you can see just the relationship between her and her dad, and how it's like he trusts her. Like now he's like, cool. This is your part, this is my part, and together we mesh and we kick ass. And you can see her having a good time being the Wasp.
Hank Pym has become the man in the chair.
Yeah, he definitely is the brains behind the operation in this movie.
I mean, because there's a scene we were doing spoilers. So when they go to jail...
Yeah, no, I keep telling myself, don't ruin it. Wait, man, fuck that, that's a spoiler warning.
When they go to jail, there's easily a scene, because, Scott gets him out, there's easily a scene where, because Scott gives... her Wasp outfit. He could have gave Hank an Ant-Man suit, but no, they gave him an FBI thing, and he had to
out.
So he is the man in the chair.
He no longer the closest he ever gets to a suit, and I think ever will again, is at the very end when he goes into the quantum realm and in the little quantum sub,
and he grabs Catwoman out of there.
Yeah, and he saves Catwoman. That's what she is. I don't care what you say.
I don't know. To me, she's always gonna be Scarface's wife.
And I know her from. Because when I was younger, my dad let me watch Batman. He would not let me watch Scarface. So I had to pretend like I hadn't seen that movie until I was much older.
She's always going to be Miss Montana.
You had to get the accent?
I did.
It's not Montana?
It's Montana.
She's always going to be Miss
Montana.
And all you hear in the background is...
Yeah. Another sympathetic villain.
I was going to say... As you said, that's exactly what it is. Like, have you noticed their most recent villains, starting with Keaton as Vulture, have been getting better? Of course, obviously Thanos is on his own level because he's the best. And
well, Thanos is on that sympathetic thing as well.
Yeah, but if you take all that out, like just like looking at their villains over the period of 10 years now, he's obviously their best villain on screen.
Yes, and we will get there.
Taking him out of the equation and just looking at their everyday villains. That's the best way I can put it. They're regular villains.
Well, no,
She's up there because
you take Thanos out and you take Guardians villains out, and then you have everyday villains.
touche. Your regular day villains, besides those, okay, like and again, starting with Vulture and then even with Killmonger,
Killmonger, yeah.
you have the sympathetic, so you're not rooting for them, but you can sympathize, you can understand whatever, right? So they do that with her, and she was good. Like there was nothing that she did I didn't like. She was intense. She was creepy. I liked the way they adapted Ghost, but what weakened it was the fact that we just saw Thanos.
Yeah, there's
It's not a knock on her. It's just timing because you just had this level of villainous, like this savagery, and she's really good, but she's in a different game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She had the unlucky draw of being the villain to follow Thanos.
Yeah, and the thing is, if this movie, let's say, would have come out before,
she'd be great. She'd be revered.
She'd be revered. She'd be up there with Vulture and Killmonger, and no one, you know what I'm saying? So
because,
if there's any backlash on that, I feel like that's not really...
starting with Spider-Man, like you said, they've had a good run with villains.
Since then, like they kind of figured out how to turn them and then make them enjoyable, and because before that, their villains was garbage.
Yeah.
And Loki don't count.
No.
Not at all. Loki, they would straight anti-heroed him, and he was not a villain since the first movie, even at the end of that one.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, she had the unfortunate task of following Thanos.
A little foreshadowing with the daughter saying she wants to be a.
Yeah.
The daughter saying, "I want to be your partner," like as in she wants to suit up, as in.
That's a scene. That's a scene from the trailer where it's a misdirect when she's like, "You need a partner," and he's like, "Janet's cool."
And then they show
not Janet, I'm sorry, Hope is cool.
And they show you a clip of Hope.
And then the daughter's like, "I meant me, asshole."
Yeah. And you're like, "Oh." And if you know, at one point in time in the comics, she does.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's it. And I gotta throw it out there. So they casted a 16-year-old, her for Avengers 4.
Mm-hmm.
So does she?
I think Marvel has found or caught lightning in a bottle, starting with Black Panther with the pre-Marvel logo backstory.
Well, technically, Antman did it first.
It was Antman. I'm sorry. Yeah.
With Michael Douglas, looks younger, punches homie in the face.
It's basically a cold opening.
Yeah.
To give you backstory, then we go into
the actual movie. And like you said, it's smart because then you're not like, oh, it's a bunch of backstory in the movie.
No,
it don't really count. Anything else before we jump to because there is again there's one mid-credit and one end credit, both very important.
Yeah, I do got one more thing. Janet Van Dyne has powers, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what? You're right. I kind of spaced on that. Don't judge me.
Oh no, I'm not judging. I'm just saying.
That's true.
I'm sitting here thinking.
Spaced on that.
Granted, Marvel has stated that the MCU and comics are totally different.
Two separate entities.
Yeah, I mean, even though they both exist in the 616, but still, it's 616M and 616C.
Yeah, exactly.
My reading of Antman.
I totally spaced on that.
And the Wasp.
You're right.
I don't remember Janet Van Dyne ever having powers.
Hell no. You know what's funny? They introduced these powers, but no explanation, like at all.
Well, obviously we know why.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I understand the fact that they don't really give us an explanation on why Janet has powers.
I mean, I've heard some things that that she was gathering energy while she was there.
Okay.
Which would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
We'll hold on to that because it segues into
the mid-credit scene because there are two end credit scenes. So if you haven't seen this movie, when you go watch it, definitely stay because again there are two. Having one being the mid-credit scene, which is, I think, the more vital, more important one.
And you know what? If you don't stay for the credit scenes, well, you're not a Marvel fan because, I mean, we've had 10 years of this.
10 years worth of end credit scenes that you're missing out on.
Yeah, I mean, go back, and I guess if you watch those credit scenes, you're going to be like, I have missed a whole lot.
Hey, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's how they knew. I wonder whose hammer that is. In that crater. This mid and end credit scene are they're like, I don't want to say important because they're important, but they're not important because of what they mean. They're important because it's just like, it's the answer we wanted. It's like, where were they the entire time? What happened? Blah, 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 right? And for some reason, I didn't expect it when I was watching it. Like, I should have, but it didn't hit me until when I was watching, I was like, Ah, man. Like, I got chills, and I was just like, man, I should have seen that coming a mile away.
The second that he's like, "Hey guys," and you hear nothing, I was like, I swear, I nudged him. I was like,
It poofed, bro.
And then-
Bulbo into dust.
and then you just see the famous dust, which has made its way to Twitter and
God, it's made
every other meme and all kinds of things, you know.
The
and
one that hurt my heart was seeing the giraffe from Toys R Us, bro. That was cold.
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey. And they did it a day before they closed. Savages. And the thing is, you killed all three.
Yeah, everything else was random, but yet these three vital characters, extremely vital characters,
Yeah.
all go
you
at
figured
once.
one of them would have survived? The one I would have, if I had to put my money on, would have been Janet, because we just got her back.
I agree with you. I was thinking the same thing. That if one's gonna go, or if one's gonna stay,
Yeah.
it's gonna be Michelle Pfeiffer, Catwoman, Janet Van Dyne,
Yeah. You know, and if anything,
Tony Montana's wife. Yeah, because after Avengers 4
Spidey.
is
Far From Home.
Far from home.
Yeah, Spidey.
What's this home thing? Forget it.
I know. I agree with you though. I understand that. Apparently, he's going on some Euro trip. My question is, technically, isn't he a freshman in college now?
Yeah, who knows?
Because it's been 2 years since the first one.
As good as they've been with Spider-Man, their timelines are just crazy bad.
But real quick, like I need to ask this to y'all as well. The first one takes place months after Civil War. Infinity War takes place 2 years after Civil War. So technically, well, he was a sophomore in. So technically, he's a senior or he's a freshman in college. What I'm saying is that he's been Spider-Man for 2 years instead of a few months now. So if I get like the following year of high school in that movie, I'm losing my shit.
Now we're moving to the end credit scene, which is a big one.
It's massive,
Huge.
vital.
The ant plays drums.
All right, guys, that's it.
Yeah.
Remember to stay in touch. No, I mean, he's not wrong. That's really it. But the reason I thought it was vital or important is the simple 2 seconds we get before we see the ant playing drums, and that is that you look out Scott's window, it's desolate, like nothing. Like the only thing that was missing was a tumbleweed go across the street.
I'm sure there's one.
It just
We'll
tiny.
get that in the extended version.
Yeah, it was tiny, and then
Yeah, exactly.
it was tiny.
Small.
And then we pan over, and the entire time you hear the emergency service siren, and you pan over and you see the TV. Was it me or that TV look old school, like the old box TV?
Now thinking about it, yeah.
It looked like the old school box TV,
Yeah.
and it had the rainbow emergency signal service on it, but it looked like a nuclear family TV, right?
The only thing it was missing was it being on top of a bigger TV.
But no, like thinking about it, that's what it looks like. But that's what you hear and you see. You see that there's nothing, which is weird because I understand, as the way I understand it is when he snapped his fingers, half the universe. That means not just beings, but that means plants, animals, anything sentient or alive. Half of that is gone. So that's plants, animals, creatures, everything. Where's the other half in San Francisco at the moment? Like, how far has it been? Like,
Or did he just cut America in two and, like, you know, the West is gone and the East stays? My wife and my mistress are gone.
wow. But no, we want to hear your thoughts, your opinion, what you think of this movie, where it sits on your MCU ranking, because...
Is it better than the first one? Michael Pena for president. Keep
Bro,
pushing.
yes. No, hey, hold on. No, let's talk about that now. Hey, I agree with that, all right? And I want all his ad campaigns to be voiceovers.
With other people.
With other people, and at the very end, you just see him, someone asks him, do you approve this message? And I want him to be like this. Yes.
Yes.
Hear your thoughts, your opinions, comment section down below. Let us know what you thought of this movie and the MCU so far. What are your theories of said powers that Janet has now? And what do you think is going to happen now that homie's stuck in the quantum realm and his second family is basically all poofed away? And what happened to his kid, maybe? Let us know. Comment section down below. We love to hear from you. Stay in touch with us. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook. Description box down below. All those links are located there so you can hit us up. And remember, we're dope.
And we do dope shit.